What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over my watch list for the trading week of August 15th, 2022. Let's get to it. All right, catalyst for this week, we have some major retailers reporting earnings. Also, we have the state of the housing market due on Wednesday. Also, the July FOMC minutes and the retail sales data for July. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's earnings calendar. Okay, on this week's calendar, we have a couple of Chinese EV companies in NIO and Li Auto, but I'm going to be focusing on retail and some semiconductors. So that's going to be companies like Walmart, Home Depot, Target, Lowe's, BJ's, Synopsys, and Applied Materials. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the watch list. All right, first up is going to be the QQQ, the index that tracks the tech sector, and here I have it pulled up on the daily chart. Now last week when we looked at it, it was sitting around $325. So we were looking for it to hold 325 or run up to 330, or not hold 325 and come down to around 318, and it did both sides of this. It couldn't hold it on Monday, dropped down to around 318 on Tuesday, and ended up by Friday running all the way up to $330. So even though this was a bullish week overall, we only moved less than $5. Okay, so for this upcoming week, first off, the bullish scenario, if it can get above and stay above this $330, the next level that I can see is around 350. Okay, and on the other side, the bearish scenario, if it opens below 330 and cannot break above it, I'm looking for it to test around 325. And if it can't hold that, the next level around 318. And if you look at this pattern on the daily, if it wasn't for this part right here, it'd be setting up a nice cup formation. And all we need is the handle to make it more bullish. So over the next 2 weeks, maybe it can come down, test around 318, and then come all the way back up and test this 330, and then break through, and we're off to the races up to 350. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is the Russell 2000. This ETF tracks a lot of the small cap stocks, ticker symbol IWM. Now here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. And the last time we took a look at this one, we were watching this 191, 191.50 level. And as you can see, this past week was nice and bullish for all the small caps. But what I wanted to show you is this possible resistance level around $207.50. Going back to around March of 2021, you can see this was a prior support range. But once we broke through it in January of this year, the stock has not been able to break above or all the way through this level. Now right now we're sitting around $200, so we're still $7 away from this, but I want you to keep this level of $207.50 for a possible rejection point. Okay, so keep this level on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, so the first stock we're going to look at is Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. Now here I have it pulled up on the daily chart. Now, when we go through these earnings plays, we always have a bullish and bearish scenario. And fortunately for us, Walmart has given us examples of both this year already. All right. If we go back to the first earnings of the year in February, they beat, and then it ran up around $5. And then over the next 4 days, it gave it all back, and then proceeded to run to its all-time high of around $161. Now, in their last earnings, they missed, and it went from around $137 all the way down to $117. Okay, now for this upcoming earnings, Walmart already came out and lowered its profit outlook, and it also expected a decline in their operating margin over the next few quarters. So they already prepped us for possible bad earnings numbers. Okay, but first off, let's just go ahead and look at the bullish scenario first. Now, if they beat on earnings and they can stay above $131, I'm looking for it to run up to around $135.50. If it can get through this, the next level that I'm looking for is around $142. Okay. Now, if they miss on earnings and they cannot stay above $130, I'm looking for it to come down to around $127.75. If it can't hold that, 126. If it can't hold that, all the way down to around $121. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, the next one we're going to look at is Costco, ticker symbol COST. Now here I have it pulled up on the daily chart. Now Costco doesn't have earnings this week, but it can be affected by what happens with Walmart. On Walmart's last earnings where they missed, you can see on the chart here that Costco sold off also. Now if I go to my other chart here, Walmart's earnings was on May 17th. That day, Costco had closed at $490.47. That next morning, Costco had gapped down to $460 and closed at $429.40. The next day, it closed at $422.93, and the day after that, it closed at $416.43. Okay, now they didn't have earnings, but it was affected by what happened with Walmart, and you can see it got as low as around $406. Okay. What saved them is that Costco had earnings a few days later. They barely beat, but it caused Costco to run right back up. Now this time around, Costco doesn't have earnings until the end of September. So let's see what happens with that. So let's go over a few scenarios here. First, the bullish scenario. Now right now, Costco is sitting around $537. If Walmart beats, it's possible that Costco could run up to around $544. If it can get through this level, it's going to test the bottom of this range right here around $554. Okay, now Walmart misses on earnings and it starts to sell off, and Costco can't hold this $537 level. I'm looking for it to come down to around $532. If it can't hold $532, I'm looking for it to drop down to $521.40. If it can't hold that, all the way down to $514.50. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is Target, ticker symbol TGT, and here I have it pulled up on the daily chart. Zoom in a little bit right here. Now of all the tickers that I'm watching this week, to me it seems like this one has the potential to run the most if they have good earnings. And I believe that because of this gap right here that was created from their last earnings, where it sold off from around $215 all the way down to around $145. Okay, and it just got back into this gap area this week. All right, so first off, the bullish scenario. Oh, and the reason that I feel this way is because there's not much structure in this whole area right here. So if it gets in here with enough momentum, I feel it could really run. Okay, so first off, the bullish scenario. Right now, Target's sitting around $172.50. And if they can stay above $171, let's just say $172 by the time of their earnings, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around $188. If it can get through that, the next level is around $200. If it can get through that, the next level, $209. Okay, now if they miss on earnings and they cannot stay above $172, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around $165. If it can't hold that, the next level's around $153. And if they can't hold that, the next level's $150. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is semiconductors. We have Synopsys reporting after the market closes on Wednesday, ticker symbol SNPS, and Applied Materials reporting after the market closes on Thursday, ticker symbol AMAT. Now, there's been a lot of focus on semiconductors since this CHIPS Act has come along, and I even see articles like this one showing people, including politicians, are buying into the semiconductor space. Now this company, Synopsys, when I look at that chart here, you can see they've been on a nice run for a long time. And their latest run started back in May, and now they're sitting at an all-time high around $386. Now I went over to their website because I had never heard of them before, and just to see what they offer. Now their range of services go from chip design all the way to application security. Now, everything that I saw on this website was just looking fantastic, so I'll be doing more research on this company to see if I want to invest in them. But for the sake of earnings, I will not be playing this one, because when I look at the the option chain, the bid ask spread is just too far apart, so it's not something I'm interested in playing, but I will be playing Nvidia to catch a part of this run. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so here we have Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA, on the weekly chart. And as with other semiconductors, it's been on a nice run lately. Now, Nvidia has earnings in a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to continue this run up until their earnings. And I wanted to show you this level that I'm going to be targeting around $208. It's been a significant level for quite a while, so I don't see any problem with Nvidia reaching that prior to their earnings. Okay, now if Nvidia can stay above $184.75, I'm looking for it to run all the way up to $208 this week. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading, and until next week, talk to you later.